going on? My name is Amy Nicholas. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, feel free to say hello in the comments and let me know how long have you been day trading for. I'm on month 4, and in today's video, I'm going to recap why my exit strategy sucks in day trading and what I'm going to do to improve it. I'm also reviewing, this is day 4 of my 20 day trades experiment. So I started this experiment middle of last week with the idea to be systematic, trade exactly the same way with the same stop loss in order to stop overanalyzing, stop hesitating, worrying about losing money, worrying about every single little trade. And so far, so good. It's going really well. Today, I executed trade number 14 and 15. So we are getting close to finishing up the 20. And just to kind of synopsis the whole thing here, green on the day, yay. I took 2 trades today. Oh, and by the way, what has taught me thus far, what I've learned from day trading and how I learned it, you can check out my day trading resources. It's a working Google document that you can see all the books I've listed, YouTubers I've followed, specific videos that got me this far on the journey, and I'm still here. So feel free to check out that in the link below. It's free. You can check the description or the comments. So trade number 14 of the 20 trades. We're doing a whole series. I credit Mark Douglas for giving me this idea. There was a video I had watched of his on YouTube about looking at trades as a series instead of putting so much emphasis on every individual trade that it just destroys your ability to make a profit, right? So today's trade, number 14, initially, I looked at the market this morning. I wrote out, I'm using AI, by the way, for this. It's very helpful because it shortcuts the time frame for me to analyze, look at the charts, review data, all this sort of stuff. And I'm using ChatGPT to actually give me day trading levels that I can go from. Are these set in stone? No. You have to really give it the right questions in the right way in order to get good, accurate answers. But it helps me to just, as a newbie, find certain levels that I'm looking for. So I had it review Tesla and Nvidia this morning for me. Got some levels of support and resistance. And it even listed out for me without asking, like, here's Fibonacci, resistance 1, resistance 2, 3, here's Fibonacci support 1, 2, 3. So this stuff is getting better and better, this AI stuff. So it really helped me just kind of get an idea. Because I'm a momentum trader, I like to look for the range of where a stock could go from here to here, or if it's up here, from there down, right? So I have no problem going long or short. But this morning, I watched Tesla and it was kind of weak looking. So I said, you know what? I'm really feeling a strong urge that as soon as the opening bell goes, I'm going in. Like, I'm probably going to short because I don't see it going like up. It looked very weak. And I was correct. I went in at 57.36 on TSLQ, which is the ETF that shorts Tesla. And I set a take profit of 58 because I liked just when I'm setting up my order, I was just kind of in a hurry and I was like, let me just pick an even number and then I'll adjust my take profit once the order is in and I'm in the trade, right? Well, it happened so quickly that it went green, it went up. I didn't actually have time to move my take profit level higher, and it ended up, literally, I wrote in at 6:31 a.m. and out at 6:32 a.m. So yeah, I'm on Pacific time. So that's how fast it happened. I got a profit of 64 cents. Now I do have a trailing stop loss of 75 cents. So this was the reason I was trying to move my take profit level higher, because I was at least trying to get to that 1-to-1 a little bit higher if possible. And it's one of those things, like, you're trying to get in the trade quickly. You don't want to overthink it. I've looked into Thinkorswim's platform, and unfortunately, there's no way to set a fixed price per share that you want to take a profit on. So, for example, if my stop loss is 75 cents, Ideally, I'd love to get $1.25, sure, one day things are going well, $1.50 plus. Basically, higher reward to risk. And there's just no way to set that up. You literally have to enter the price you want to exit at. And so I was just trying to get in the trade quick before the move was gone. So I'm glad I executed quickly. And I think the brilliance of doing this experiment has been that ability to not overthink, to not be like, oh, like it kind of makes me wonder, like, am I different in that I actually started day trading by trading pre-market and waiting for the surge at the open, because I loved the volatility. I loved these huge momentum, gap ups. Now, granted, when I started doing that, the market was very bullish, but I see professional day traders, I watch them on YouTube and I see different ones trading, and they have this, like, I don't know if it's a fear or if they've just been burned too many times, but they hold back the first 5 minutes of the open. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many moves to be had right then. Like, if you can get in quickly, if you feel like, hey, I've got my indicators, I've got my analysis, I know what I'm looking for, I see it, go. But they have this like tendency to always hold back on that. And I'm thinking, man, I'm in and out of a trade in the first 2 minutes of the market. Now, if I was trading full position size, this is one share. If I was trading full position size, boom, I would have made the green for the day, been like, okay, great. Like, maybe I'll take one more trade, but I don't have to because I made money. And I see professionals that shy away from it. And it's kind of baffling to me, because I'm like, wait, you guys do this for a living? Like, this is kind of like what I'm striving for. And you won't take the opportunity that's the biggest chance. Like, think about it. How many orders are flowing into the market at the open bell? Way more than any other time of the day. Okay, I would venture to say more than at the close, because even though the close can be a lot of volume, it's going to be right at the open, right? This is capitalize on it, right? It's just, I don't know. I don't understand. So yeah, I tried to move my take profit, got out too fast. And I saw the numbers. I saw it once it kicked me out, that TSOQ went all the way up to 58.42. So I could have got over $1 move. I probably would have set it for at least $1, but like, I didn't want to have to sit there and do the math. I was just trying to put in a number and get in the trade. But yeah, I could have gone, instead of exiting at 58, I could have gone up to 58.42 was the highest. But I don't try to look back too much in regret. I'm just glad that I'm overcoming the limitations that I had before starting this experiment. And one of them was to hesitate, overanalyze, wait. And then by the time you freaking jump in, you're like, oh shoot, I missed half the move, most of the move, then it turns against you. So anyways, first trade was good. Number 14 of the 20. Number 15, I was watching NVIDIA for a while, and I said, you know what? It's doing the same old crap of ranging. And I had some levels on it, and it was just kind of stuck in this like 122 range. And I was like, at most, maybe it bumps to 124, but it was just sitting there for the longest time. So I said, I'm not even going to look at it anymore. So I looked at Netflix because I saw a really big surge to the upside. I saw some huge green candles. And I thought, you know what? There's an ETF out there, NFXL, that you can go long on Netflix, because of course Netflix is almost $1,000 share. So I like to trade these ETFs because then I don't have to put so much capital in, and I can just kind of, mentally think in small terms, right? Now again, just one share, same 75-cent trailing stop loss. This is my experiment standards. I was in at 6:39 a.m. for $39.97 on NFXL. And this is where I'm getting into why my exit strategy sucks. So I explained why it was sucked on the take profit one. This sucked too, because I'm in this trade and I'm like literally thinking, I'm green, I'm up, but I'm only up like halfway of where I want to go to take profit. What do? I had no plan. I had no strategy actually written out, no set of rules. And this has come up a few times before I did the experiment. This is the first time during this experiment it came up, where I'm like staring at the screen, watching Netflix kind of like get up there, and then it was kind of like hovering around 958 was kind of the high. And I'm like, okay, just show me that you're going to reject 960, because I'm pretty sure you are. So I'm kind of waiting for it to get up there. It never did. And I was up, I think at most 45 cents a share, one share. And I thought, should I exit now? And then I told myself, no, Amy, you should be patient. Like let it play out. You've got your stop. And so it was sort of this battle of, when do you execute patience versus when do you realize that the trade is taking too long? It definitely seemed like the momentum was slowing down to the upside. And it seemed like, okay, if this goes on any longer, the sellers are going to basically start selling it, and then it's going to drop. And sure enough, I watched it drop like a couple of dollars, which thankfully doesn't affect this ETF as much because Netflix's price is so high. It takes like many dollars to move the ETF a few cents. So I watched it dropping, and again, I had that thought, like, should I get out? You know, at that point I'm down to like only 15-cent profit. And it was still in the back of my mind of like, crap, I need a strategy here. Like I shouldn't be asking myself these questions in the middle of a trade, because think about this. How often are you actually thinking logically when you're in the trade? You're not. You're thinking logically out of a trade. When you have no positions open, that's the time to be logical. And when your brain is able to actually come up with the idea, the system, the strategy, and you should have it written down. Like I prefer to actually handwrite things down. And that's exactly what I did after this trade, where I got kicked out because I didn't take action on taking profit and waited for it to turn against me and kick me out. Now, granted, because I had a trailing stop loss, I only was at a loss of 31 cents for the share instead of the 75. So, okay, cool. Like at least the trailing stop kept me up above where I got in. But I also noticed something else. This was something I should have looked at before I even opened this trade, was when you trade these ETFs and stocks in general, really, because this can happen on anything, but you got to be careful of the spread. So the difference between the bid and the ask was 14 cents, which on a $40-ish stock, or excuse me, $40-ish ETF, that is pretty high, because most of the ones I trade, like TSLQ, TSLR, NVIDIA's short and long, NVDS, NVDL, they range from 2 to maybe at most like 5-6 cents would be like a wide range. Now pre-market is different. Pre-market's totally different, but during the open and that kind of time, it should be only in that 2 to 4 to 6 cents kind of range. 14-cent thing, I was like, shoot, I'm looking at the numbers like, this has to really move or it's not going to be much of a take profit. And then it, went against me while I'm thinking about all this stuff, which again, logic does not work when you're in the trade. It's outside of the trade. So anyways, I decided to walk away after that because I looked at my P&L and I said, okay, I'm green on the day. I've taken 2 trades. I'm green on the day. I have significantly improved my ability to take more profit than I lose in losses doing this experiment. I mean, because previously there'd be days where, maybe I took a couple trades and the number of wins to loss was higher, but I was down because I took too much loss. And today was a 50%, win rate or whatever. And I was up, I was green, I'm up, what was it? 33 cents. Okay. Cause again, I'm only trading the 1 share. This is just about executing and learning a strategy and overcoming fears of getting into the market or taking profit too soon or whatever. Overcoming the mental stuff is really what this experiment has been about for me. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm green on the day. I can walk away now. I don't really need to jump back into the market. I watched after this though. Once I document, I'll say this helps me to walk away. I'll document P/L profit or loss on the day. Once I write that down, it's kind of like a signal to my brain, like, okay, Amy, you're done. You're not taking any more trades. Like, just walk away. It's good. It's fine. You know, the second one didn't exactly play out how you wanted, and you know what to do now. So every trading day, my absolute goal is to walk away with a learning experience, because every time I take a trade, I am going to learn a lesson. Like, this is my goal. That's it, period. And it's lesson upon lesson upon lesson upon lesson that builds until eventually you have this winning system, right? Because you've put in the time, you've gone through the struggle, you're continuously going through the struggle, but then you're actually documenting with a trading journal your takeaways, or what do I need to improve, or what did I do right, what can I do more of? So because of this happening, I actually, again, went to ChatGPT on AI. It's very helpful for helping you think things out. And I told Chat, like, what happened in that second trade where I, didn't know what to do. I didn't know when to exit. Should I leave now? Should I let the trailing stop get me? And it basically said to create a 3 strikes rule and about exiting a trade early. And so it gave me some ideas, and I kind of rewrote it in my own words in my journal. But I put 1 strike is hitting a resistance level and not going above it, which is what I was waiting for with the 960 level on Netflix. But it actually, Chat, and I need to write this down, Chat told me to go to 95% of that area. So because Netflix was at 958, I could have said, hey, this is 95% of this, resistance level. It's almost there. I should leave, right? I should not overstay my welcome here. So yeah, 95%. I thought that was a really astute analysis of when to get out. And then to wait for it to do it 2 times, which it definitely did. It definitely kind of ranged 956, 7, 8, 7, 8, and yeah, and I should have just pulled the trigger at that point. So second strike, that the momentum indicators, so for me, I like using my MACD down here, that's showing weakness or reversal. And I was looking at that, and it was kind of like, at the beginning of a sharp move, I don't know if you're a momentum trader, but I am. Beginning of a sharp move, you see these enormous shoop kind of spike to it. And if it's kind of been playing out for a little while and it gets to a level like this morning with Netflix, and then it's sort of it's still up, but it's not straight up, and it's starting to do, it's still up, but it's it's just sort of wavering. It's not doing much. It's taking too long. That to me is a sign of weakness. Anytime it's taken too long. And ChatGPT said, look for, if you're watching charts and candlesticks, look for a doji, a shooting star, something on the chart that kind of confirms that, yeah, this might be ending soon, right? The third strike, I put lower highs forming on shorter time frames. So 1 minute and a 5 minute chart. This would be kind of something that I have to work on with technical analysis, drilling the skill basically of looking at this and sort of seeing, okay, is this candle closing at this? I haven't gotten to the point where I feel really comfortable observing candles in that way. But I think the first 2 strikes that I've listed would have been enough for me to say, time to go, time to get out of this trade. So now I have it written down, and now I know when this comes up again, I know what to do, when to exit early, okay? Now, a lot of what I trade, I noticed that because I have a tight, seemingly tight, I'd say, on most stocks, trailing stop loss, that I can only be in a trade for so long before one of these 2 things is going to happen. I'm either going to get stopped out, or I'm going to have to exit the trade of my own volition. Now, this morning, the first trade I got out with a take profit amount that I had set, but it happened so fast. Like I said, I wanted to move that, and I just didn't have a chance. And Chad said something too, and I thought this was a really great quote. Exit at strength, not weakness. So if you feel like the tide is turning against you, and I don't mean like severely, like you're already just way down, it's good. No, as soon as you kind of feel like, I think everybody has this ability after looking at the market for so long that you kind of can sense, just literally, it's like an energetic sense that, okay, there's a hovering, there's an indecision, there's a stopping point where you can just sort of feel the volume slow down. You don't even have to look at level 2 data. Like, you can feel it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Comment below. You know what I'm talking about. You can feel the shift in the volume. You can see, you watch the stuff moving on the chart. I mean, you do have level 2 data up and stuff. I can just sort of like energetically sometimes sense it by stuff flashing at me, price action, level 2, there's movement on the chart, the candle is moving. I use a 5-minute chart over here. I'm watching JP Morgan right now. This is not a fast moving stock by any means, but you kind of look like it's forming a red candle here. You can kind of like just get a sense of it, that stuff is happening differently. Okay. So, and anyways, I also kind of ended the day, and maybe you've noticed this too, I kind of ended the day just sort of noticing as I was watching the charts, and I was stopped trading. I said, I'm not trading anymore, but I was watching, and there was some opportunity right at like 7:25, I think is when Tesla started to turn around. And Tesla had been going bullish after I got out of my short. It started to turn around, and then the Qs were up, and SPY was up, and then, there was this sense of, green on the day, maybe some momentum. I see it all as false moves, but I was like, okay, we're not going to trade anymore or whatever, but I'm going to still watch the chart. And I noticed Tesla suddenly turned around, and right around 7:25, and this is Pacific time, so 10:25. This used to be iconic, classic play when I first started trading a couple months ago, that the institutions would start to unload their last selling positions, or their big ones at any rate, right before 10:30 Eastern, right before. And you could time it to your watch. And today it came back. It hadn't happened in a while. Like the last couple weeks, I was sort of looking for that, and it wasn't really happening that way anymore. But today it happened. And so I wrote that down, and I literally put at 7:31 or 10:31 a.m., it turns around a bit. That's literally, they have these bots or whatever, the hedge funds and the Wall Street and the institutions use. They have these bots that say, okay, there's still a lot of liquidity here in the market. We can unload until about the first hour after the market open. And like clockwork, it's exactly how it played out today. I was watching Tesla. I don't know if other stocks were doing this at the same time. I just have noticed that pattern repeat many times with that stock. So anywho, yeah, so to sum it all up, I hope this is like valuable for you. I'm just, sort of docu-vlogging my journey here with this 20 trades experiment. Day 4 taught me something about my exit strategy. And I know that with doing these trades in a series, it's beneficial for my mental health and overcoming things and just learning to execute. It's also, because I'm not so worried about the money, I'm able to see more clearly other issues in my trading. Because before, I would be so focused on, am I right? Am I profitable? Did I make money? That I couldn't even see other issues in front of me. Once you start to address the mental issues, you clear up some of that headspace, and you can then see what other weaknesses in your strategy and your plan that you have. And it's like, oh, wow, I'm glad that I was taught this lesson today with Netflix ETF, because it showed me my weakness in my exit strategy, which technically I kind of had this morning in the first trade, TSLQ. I didn't set my profit high enough. I probably should have just looked at whatever the price was at that point, added $1 quickly and thrown it in there. But I just wanted to jump in. So Anyways, guys, feel free to check out the day trading resources document. Like I said, that's going to be in the description and comment section. You can see all the stuff that I've been using, applying to get this far. I am a beginner by all means of the word, okay? Don't really know a lot of what I'm doing, but you know, you guys seem to appreciate these sharing and my videos, and I hope that it helps with just maybe one, getting over your own fears, and two, just realizing that sometimes it's totally okay to go back to the basics, and nobody's gonna like laugh at you or think you're weird to just trade one share. I think it just makes it that much more simple when you are trying to refine things. And some people in the comments have suggested to do, paper trading. But for me, it always meant something when I had real money on the line. And even though I'm just buying one little share and I'm risking 75 cents, it still feels real. So if you can make it real and just make it so small that you're not gonna, cry your eyes out because you lost something, it's really helped me to not care about each and every little individual trade, to take the pressure off. And it's helped me to just think with a clear mind. When I'm looking at the chart in the morning, before getting into a trade, it's helped me to set aside any preconceived notion of what the day might end up like. It also helps me to eliminate what happened yesterday or a week ago. Like, that's not even there in my head anymore, which is great, because that's the kind of stuff that holds you back, right? From even trading in the moment. And that was something else that happened today, was I was present in the moment. And I was conscious of this after the fact, because when you're in the moment, you're not thinking, am I in the moment? No, you think back in how you traded. And again, I really encourage everybody to write in a trading journal. Like, write, don't type. I know there's all these things online, and I'm not saying don't use them, but when you actually write things down with your hand, you're activating neural pathways in your brain that are like turning on little sensors, and your memory is coming like sharper to you. You are going to remember also what you're writing better than what you type. It's like literally it turns on more pathways in your brain when you're handwriting something than when you are typing. So as small and insignificant as that might seem, over time, can you maybe see that this can affect my overall trading? Even just like, say it just improves your trading like 0.05%, but over the course of an entire year, 0.5%, over the course of 6 months, a year, couple years, that really adds up to your bottom line, right? If that improves your trading in any way. So I just want to encourage you to write things down. Okay. So that's all I have. Feel free to subscribe if you want to hang around and check out the channel. I've got plenty of other videos that I'm sharing, wins, losses, the struggle, what it's like being a newbie. People seem to enjoy the one where I shared, that I started trading 3 months ago. Here's what happened. I'm in month 4. So you can kind of see the beginning of where I started in that 3 months video. And then also I've got one about the resources called How I Learned, or How I Am Learning to Day Trade. So check it out. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.